My friends, calamity has come from the direction it was not expected to come from. Russians certainly did not expect that. Russians expected and fought with many different things. At first, it was Nazis in Ukraine and Nazification of Ukraine. Then it was extra militarization of Ukraine. NATOification of Ukraine, there's too much NATO was in there. And I was just in an evil way thinking of becoming a part of NATO. So of course, it's a sin, cannot happen. Well, then the Russians thought it was America benefiting all these terrible things that going on. Then Russians thought that was atrocious unauthorized weapons biolabs in Ukraine and combat mosquitoes. Yes. No, it's much worse. Much, much, much worse. It's the Western Satanists. No more, no less. They're corrupting and molesting good Russian society. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia. I'm giving you daily updates on things important happening in Russia, giving you facts, news, my opinions. Streaming live today. This is the continuation of my last stream where I explained what propaganda was, what principles used by Russian government in Russia, and what methods used in Russia to influence opinions of regular Russian people. Now, this is the second part. I'm going to give you a few beliefs that Russian people have been manipulated into. Their heads were turned into, so to speak. And some of them you might find laughing matter, but you know what? Don't laugh because it's serious stuff. It can be seen as laughing matter from far away, but for us in Russia, it's not. It's pretty serious stuff, and it's more tragic than laughing matter. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's jump into it. And I'm gonna tell you the quite a few beliefs and explain, and on some of them I'm gonna give my opinions. Okay, so you understand what is happening. Number one, it is the West's fault. It's not. No, of course not. It's not Russia's fault. It's not Russia's fault, my friends. It's the West. The West is bad. The West has manipulated, has set the trap, so this situation with Ukraine happened. It's the West's fault, of course. No way it's Russia's fault. No, never. Moreover, America's fault. Because West in Russia is called the collective West. All Western countries. Who are they led by? Of course, America. So it's the West's fault and it's the America's fault. It's really hard to talk to people who believe. Before I start telling you about these beliefs, a disclaimer: not all Russians believe these things, but a good amount. Some beliefs, majority of Russian people, and some beliefs, just still quite a lot of them. So when I talk about how it is the West's fault, I ask questions, I give arguments that is not, and it's like talking to a brick wall. people misunderstand you. They don't want to listen to you. They are sure that this is it's not our fault. It doesn't really matter whose fault it is, but it's not our fault. Because one simple reason, it is really hard, it is tragic, it is depressing, it is painful to admit that something terrible is your fault. Okay? You have to start fighting yourself. Your world would shake. Okay? But if you somehow have a belief that it's not your fault, then it's much easier to live. Number 2, aggressive West wants to destroy Russia and Russian sovereignty. And of course, aggressive West led by the United States. The West has been waging the war on Russia for hundreds of years, perhaps for thousands. Its goal is one, to destroy Russia, to take away its sovereignty and throw it out of the window. I don't really know what it means, Russia's sovereignty. Like, every country is a sovereign that exists today. Well, at least that's what international law says. And if someone threatens Russian sovereignty, that's war, possible war, right? So I don't really know what that is, but I don't know how to argue with that. But that's a belief that many Russians do. Number 3, many Russian politicians have been bought out by the West to destroy Russia. So the agents within, evil, liberals, it's been going on for decades. Perhaps even the USSR, was infiltrated, and they were politicians bought. I heard crazy theories, conspiracy theories. I heard that Andropov was actually the head of KGB, and then the president of the USSR, the general secretary. I heard a few theories that he was bought out by the West. Then I heard theories that Soviet Minister of Foreign Affairs, Eduard Shevardnadze, the Georgian guy, later Georgian president, was bought out. And then, of course, number 1 theory is that Mikhail Gorbachev was bought out by the West. And he destroyed the USSR, and he received an immediate reward for that, $1 million as a Nobel Prize award. That's crazy. I don't even know how to answer that, but that's general belief that many Russians have. Number 4, Russia is not at war with Ukraine. Russia is at war with the collective West, the NATO, led by the USA. NATO soldiers are actually fighting Russian troops in Ukraine. Ukraine is the battlefield. Ukraine is the proxy country that West is using to defeat Russia and take its sovereignty. This is actually very easy belief to debunk, because if the West is waging the war on Russia and Ukraine, then there must be proof. There must be NATO soldiers killed, captured. There must be lots of communication going on. And, of course, the Russian army would have slew of evidence of that. Slew. Somehow, there's no evidence. But the West is waging the war. And we're at war with NATO. Nice. Number 5. The USA has created the energy crisis in Europe. It's not Russia's fault. It's America's fault. This belief has been installed in people's mind fairly recently. after things started going sour with the Russian natural gas and oil, when Russian politicians realized, and they all smart, they all know what's going on, they all assess the real situation, okay? It's just the Russian people that are told otherwise. So when they started seeing where it's really going, and I believe it was in May, June, they came up with this brilliant idea. It's not Russia's fault. The USA has been trying to force Russia out of European market for energy, and it succeeded. Interesting enough. When I ask people, very simple question, kind of a yes or no question. Who pressed the button on the 24th of February? No one answers me. They start giving me excuses. They start giving me like, oh, forced to, or blah, blah, blah. It wasn't us. It was, but no one says we pressed the button. I seem to be the only one in Russia who has been saying that and has been, talking about that. We're the ones who pressed the button. Somehow it's everyone else's fault. Everyone else's fault about the economy, about what's going on in Ukraine and so forth, Moving on. Number 6, the United States wants to destroy Europe. The United States is not happy that Europe has become strong and united. The United States doesn't like the fact that Europe is the competitor in the global markets. And the markets, of course, are global now, of course, And the USA wants to get rid of the competitor. How? By cutting it off Russian oil and gas. That's a popular belief, believe it or not. In the latest I heard, Russia did a few events or a few actions. It actually closed the pipelines in late August, okay? Saying it was not safe, saying there were some things going on, saying extended maintenance and stuff like that. It was Russia who did that, clearly. And then Russia this belief is so atrocious that it's really hard to, counteract it. Russia and the United States and Europe are global players, and it's fairly clear that in order to be successful, the players need markets. And the markets are only, there needs to be a stability in the markets. And the United States definitely is not interested in destroying Europe. Well, not just destroying, but Europe being destroyed, being weakened, because Europe serves so many purposes. The strong Europe, I mean, okay? Economically, geopolitically, and politically, okay? It's not in the interests of the United States to destroy Europe. It's in the interests of the United States and Russia to have Europe as a strong partner, okay? Trade and benefit to create synergy. Yet somehow there's a definitely the popular belief that it's the USA who wanted and destroyed Europe, because now Europe is destroyed. Europe is going to be without gas, without Russia's oil, and Europe is going to be frozen to death. That's another belief. And of course, it's the United States' fault. I think All Americans are jumping up and down out of joy, celebrating, That's a belief. Number 7, European politicians know that, the previous belief, know that the United States has been trying to destroy Europe, has been trying to cut it off Russian oil and gas, and they are publicly accusing America. That's a belief. Well, this propaganda piece is based on a true event. On October 5th, Germany's Minister of Energy actually came out and criticized the United States for creating a situation where natural gas prices have increased in price. But it was just one-time event. It was regularly nothing global, but the Russian media has blown it up out of proportion, and Russians, based on that information, started believing that European politicians, all of them, or most of them, or majority of them, or tons of them, are blaming the United States for the destruction of Europe. Have I told there's another belief that Russians are absolutely sure that Europe is going to freeze to death? And as soon as they run out of gas, European countries, they're going to crawl on their knees and start begging Russia to turn gas back on. The thing is, this belief is still in place. It's physically impossible for Russia to supply gas to Europe for 2 reasons. First reason is there's sanctions. European countries are not allowed, they're banned. It would be illegal for them to buy Russian gas. And the second is the physical pipelines have been blown up. There's no way that gas can be delivered. But somehow Russians still believe that. American economy is huge beneficiary of all this shenanigans. Russia, Ukraine, European Union, Americans have greatly benefited from it, okay? The thing is, when I start telling people, like, do you know anything about American economy? Well, of course they don't. They don't know anything about Russian economy if they believe nonsense like that. They just look at me like, And when I tell them, American economy is actually in a lot of trouble right now, and it's going into recession, and 2023 is going to hit a recession. And the only question is how big of a recession that's going to be. Huge, medium, or fairly, easy and small. The USA GDP has decreased, as far as I know, in 2 quarters, and the stock market has performed pretty bad. The Standard and Poor 500 has dropped by the greatest percentage since Vietnam War. Okay, that's huge. But Russians, they don't really care. They somehow believe, they're set in their belief that America is the sole beneficiary of this situation. Another belief, the West is decaying. Children are forced in schools, are forced by authorities to change their gender. And parents, if they disagree with that and dislike that, are jailed. Especially things are bad in Germany somehow. I don't know why Germany has been singled out for that, but Russians have this understanding that there are LGBT parades every single day all over Germany. People walk and run naked. They have every single day, like in front of kids and stuff like that. When I ask them, have you ever been to Germany? Have you ever witnessed it? They look at me like, huh? Why do we have to? We know. Well, how do you know? Huh? Are you stupid or something? We watch TV. It's all over internet. Okay. Good luck, people. Belief number 10. Russia is the beacon of righteousness. Russia is the last remaining ground of morals, high morals. Russia is the savior of Christian world. It's only Russia, the country that is left with one parent, one father and the mother type of thing, not just parent one, parent two. In Russia, there will never be parent one and parent two. It's always father and a mother and a child. You know, that type of thing. When I ask people, well, how many countries have you traveled to and how many countries have you seen that situation with parent one and two, they look at me like, oh, most of them will go, I traveled a lot. Went to Turkey twice for vacation for a week each time for an all-inclusive hotel. And then I went to Egypt, to Sharm el-Sheikh, you know, big experts. And when I tell them that even the United States, let's take the United States, you know, it's actually a commonwealth. Well, not a commonwealth, it's a republic. There are 50 states, okay, in the United States. And then states' laws, they differ from one another. People don't believe me. They think I lie when I say that. They think that there's one law that just makes authorities change gender in kids and stuff like that. And I've tried so many times to convince people otherwise, to tell them the truth, but they just don't want to listen. It's like knocking on a brick wall, trying to break through the brick wall, you know. Number 10, Russia will be much worse, far worse, without Vladimir Putin. Yes, some people believe that. I don't really understand where this, well, I understand that they've been told that so many times from different sources that they started believing it. But there's one simple question that every single person can ask himself or herself. You know, we'll remember that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You can't argue with that. That's true. And then we can ask ourselves a question. How many years Russia has had president that has been unchanged? And if you start thinking about it, that's pretty scary, okay? I personally want to see presidents to stay in power no more than 2 terms, as it was defined by the Constitution of Russian Federation before. Is that too much to ask? I just want governments come and go. I want government officials take responsibilities, and then, you know, if they fail, to resign or be fired. Is it too much to ask? But instead, so many people say, if not Putin, then who? You know what I tell them usually? Well, if it's not Putin, that's me. At least there's me. I can replace him. They look at me like I'm crazy, you know. Moving on. Russian economy is doing fine. Russian ruble is strong, and future of Russian economy is bright. This is a very recent belief, and it's been said so many times by different officials. I can see how hard they're trying to manipulate people into thinking that. Well, some people have actually fell for that, and some people believe that. The thing is, I think it's more of a insanity than belief, because you have your own eyes, you have your own senses, your own ears, and if you live in Russia, you know what goes on around you, and you go to work to make money, and then you take that money and you go to a store to buy food, and then you pay the prices, and you know what the prices are right now and what they were before, let's say on February 23rd. Okay, you can compare. And if you all do that, and then you believe otherwise, then I think it's not a belief, but I think it's a mental illness. Well, the last belief for today. There are many more beliefs, but I've just picked the ones that I find the strongest ones. And the last one of these is, you wait, if you're standing up watching me, you'd better sit down, because that's a good one. My friends, Russia somehow has been tricked, and the good Russians, righteous Russians, they have been tricked into celebrating Satanism. Halloween is ever popular holiday in the United States and all over the world now has landed to Russia. Well, it landed 20 years ago, but it's become big. Well, it hasn't, this year it's not bigger than the previous year, and the year before that, and the year before that. We celebrated Halloween for, I don't know, a couple decades already, and it's big every single year. Huge. This year is no different. But all of a sudden, our politicians have realized that Halloween is the celebration of Satanism. Russian Senator Milonov, very famous guy, he officially just recently on the 21st of October officially commented saying Halloween celebration of Satan rituals. It's a celebration of the Satanism, the evil forces. And no celebration of Halloween should be in schools, in universities, in educational facilities. Otherwise, if it's not stopped, otherwise, the celebration of Halloween in Russia will spread like epidemic. Halloween and the Satanism, Western Satanism, consume in Russia. And you know what? Lately, in the last weeks, it has become actually believed that by many people. I have already heard some people saying that, well, imagine that, huh? Now we're fighting Satanism. I thought I was joking, but no, they're serious. We don't have any other issues that are concerning in our lives, as it seems. All we should be worried and concerned is about kids with their parents celebrating Halloween, because that's Satanism. Russians versus Satanists. Okay? Ukraine? What Ukraine? Ukraine's far away. Nothing's happening. Mobilization's over. That's what they say, Satanism. That's what's really important. You should pay attention to this stuff. Not Ukraine. Come on, Ukraine. Kherson has fallen or will fall to the Ukrainians soon. What are you talking about? Don't worry about that. We will, the government will think for you about that, okay? Let the government worry about that. You worry about Satanism and Halloween. That's how they work, my friends. Again, some of them are so incredible. Some of these beliefs are so incredible that they seem kind of funny. But they're not funny. That's serious stuff. Okay, that's how Russians are manipulated and their minds molded into thinking of something for different reasons. Okay, there's a reason behind every belief because every belief is artificial, and some of them are made to distract attention from real serious issues that go unreported. Some of them are geared towards forming public opinions about something and so forth. Russian propaganda has become so masterful, so skillful, so deadly effective that it really scares me. I think this is the plague number one in our country. I think this one of the most serious diseases. Okay. I frankly don't know what to do with that. I've been trying to inform Russians for so long, for months now, about these beliefs are fake. Some of them are fake. I've been trying to find arguments, but I guess I'm standing against a force so powerful, so effective, so strong that there's not much I can do. Not much whatsoever. And I'm not the only one. There are a lot of media outlets in Russia available to Russia, not in Russia because they're all been banned in Russia, but available to Russians. And many Russians watch them or have access to them. And guess what? Not much happens. So, this is what we have. Folks, please share in the comments what do you think about what you just heard. Do you think it's serious? Which beliefs do you find the most unbelievable and the most serious? Okay. And, let me know in general what you think. Because this issue concerns me very, very much. And I think it should concern everyone. Now you know what are general beliefs of the Russians right now in November, in the fall of 2022. The chat's on. Before I start, couple things I'd like to address. First is I was asked to do happier streams, happier topics. Please also let me know if you would like me to do that because, I've been pretty down lately ever since I left Russia. And things that are happening in Russia, they're not fun. They're not cheerful. But of course I can try to find something. Would you like me to do a more lighthearted stream for a change, or would you like me to see going the way I've been going? Lorna, number 1, Toroid Star, Dirk, Emra Makers, Timo, Rezus, Mommy, Black Cat, Harry, Bob, S should be here lurking, Harry, Amir, the usual suspects, howdy. Beirut is Putin more powerful than ever since most educated and professional Russians have left and little effective opposition remains in the country? No. Beirut he's not more powerful. There have been loss after loss after loss in over 8 months, okay? And these losses, they do not add him power, okay? I think he's in a very weak situation right now. And soon we will see that, well, how do I say that? We'll see something. TikTok. Agnes, thank you so much. Great to see you. Barbula. Fingerprints of Dugin and Limonov. I think more than that. I think these guys you just named, Dugin and Limonov, they actually aren't that big in propaganda. They are the guys, they rule everything. The Grey Cardinals, so to speak. X-Flying Tiger inside Russia from John and Nikki, Lake Shasta, California. Your channel keeps getting better and better, friend. Thank you. Ooh. I almost sneezed. This was right on the mark. Thank you. Thank you so much. John and Nikki, I appreciate your help and great to see you, and thank you for the nice words. From Jason Carney, gift of sponsorship to 10 people. Thank you, Jason. My friends, I want to address one issue. Look, I have quite a bit of super chats appearing, and thank you so much. I really appreciate for you supporting. And then I always acknowledge every single super chat. I feel I'm obliged, and it's the right thing to do because people send money, and sometimes they send questions with money. But some people get upset because I don't get to other questions. So what should I do? Because I really would like to find balance. You let me know. I have tried to come up with that. Well, I've come up with this idea that I would make a separate video with questions, but I fall short on time. I simply cannot do that, okay? Please let me know. Where's the balance? You are the viewers. You are the community. Let me know, please. Lamitko Dios. Just be genuine and truthful. That's the best. Thank you so very much. Okay, you know what? Just to speed up and try to get to the questions, I will not be like greeting many people by names. I'll just get to the questions. Okay, I'll try that. Pamela J. I'm really concerned USA will abandon Ukraine, leave Europe holding the bag, and Europe is going to resent us with good reason. Also, hi, howdy, Pamela J. I don't think that'll happen. Anyway, don't worry too much. I personally don't think that is a possible scenario. Probable? No. Possible? Yes. Probable? No. Well, we will see soon. Team Vanderloo. Hey, Konstantin, привет. You forgot to mention combat mosquitoes. No, I didn't forget. I mentioned right in the beginning. I mentioned combat mosquitoes. My friend. Yes, combat mosquitoes. That's the real stuff. I think there was a 72-page report on combat mosquitoes submitted to the United Nations recently by top of the top Russian diplomat, Mr. Nebenzia. Okay, I'm gonna get my hands on that thing, you know. I wanna read 72 pages. I won't be able to read, you know, but at least some of it. The YBZ guy, it's a bit. I will leave it in the comments once you put it on. Okay. Andrew Eisen, thank you. Just keep doing the way you are. No one can keep anyone happy, everyone happy. Thank you. Opinion taken. Thank you so much. Stephen Armstrong, howdy, Special K from Indiana and the USA. I like the rhyme. Thank you so much. Thank you. Fellow mods, Lorna, fellow mods from me. Howdy, howdy again. Good evening to all from Frankfurt. Coffee cake. Hello from Chicago. Lighthearted. Kenneth, thank you. I will try to come up. Well, I will consider all opinions today, but tomorrow my stream will be about China. As you know, that China had a very special event happened recently, last week. It had the 20th Congress of the Communist Party. Basically, once at every 5 years, the entire Communist Party gets together in China, and the results of previous 5 years discussed in the plans for the next 5 years. It's like a board meeting. Okay, the board meets every 5 years. And I've got my hands on to, on the analysis, Russian analysis, not for everyone, so to speak, okay, for certain special people. And I would like to share it with you. That's going to be tomorrow. What actually happened in China, because it was revelation to me. It was very new, and I'm pretty sure that you don't know, as I didn't know myself. But I will let you know, and I will let you know how what happened in China will affect the United States and Russia. So, lighthearted, not so, but not terribly scary. It's not like Russia, Ukraine, but concerning. And then I will try to come up with something more lighthearted on Sunday. Oracle, howdy, howdy. Mototom, keep on doing your way. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love your workout. Thank you. It's maybe possible to put some chat questions for voting, and after 24 hours only answer first top 5. Lorna Mommy, could you please mark it down? Let's discuss it afterwards. Beatritus, Constantine, wish you the best, my friend. Thank you so much. Keep the streams as real as possible. Thank you. Steve Smith, thank you so much. $2. I saw Twining's Russian Caravan tea at shops today. Twining's Russian Caravan. Go and get it, my friend, and try it and let me know how it tastes. This is Twining's English breakfast. And it's pretty good. I like it. Twinings is number 1 right now. I used to not like Twinings for one simple reason. The one on sale in Russia is fake. They take real thing and mix it with not such a good tea. And then what comes out is expensive, but not great. But here in Uzbekistan, oh my gosh, Twinings is it. By the way, there's a sponsorship program at Twinings for creators. And, thanks for heads up, Sean. And I applied. I submitted my story to them, telling that I drink tea like at every stream. And most of the tea is Twinings. See if they come back to me. Sam K, thanks. Glad you're doing well. Well, I'm doing as well as I can be doing in this situation, Damien De Silva, hello, my friend. I believe you must go with your gut. These are difficult times and we must not bleach and sterilize what's going on. I come here every day for an inside perspective. Appreciate you. Thank you, Damien. Very important opinion. Thank you for your support. Thanks for being the usual suspect and a serial supporter. Jekyll N, thank you so much for support. I've seen your name before. Robert Morgan, is the answer Radio Free Russia? No. Robert, good try. Thank you, but it's not. Because there are many radios free Russia and YouTube channels and, silver rains and medusas and they're all accessible to Russians, but somehow they haven't been the answer so far. And a lot of Russians watch and listen, but somehow these people, the professional reporters that report the truth, they don't get into Russians. It's like the Russian people are surrounded by brick walls, and those bricks were laid by state media, by propaganda. I I'll take whatever kind of stream helps you the most. Karen, thank you so much. You see, this is how my streams are born. I sit right here. I wish I could show you this. This is my HQ. This is a large table right here. Okay, this camera, light, computer, and there's plenty of space. And I sit in front of my computer every single day, and my telephone constantly beeps from new information coming in from Telegram channels. Beep, beep, beep. And I read, analyze, and there's a huge, there's a bullets of today's stream. Not to forget, I don't do scripts, but sometimes I do bullets, especially when it's something serious, something is, I work before the stream, I research. Okay, I write it down here. It's a huge notebook, and this is what I use. I write down. I write things down. I write things about the economy, politics, and everything I find interesting. And then one of the topics, it's just appears. It's like a bolt of lightning. Boom. And I know that I need to do a stream about that. I know it would be interesting. I know it's born right inside of me. Okay. So I don't know whether it helps me the most or not, but I think that it's the most interesting thing I can talk about right now, today. And this is how the streams are born. Karen, thank you so much. Thank you. Say hello to the wonderful state of Maine from me. Janice Burgess, howdy, Chirper. And Anne-Marie Osborne, ever if you have to chip away at the brick wall with a toothpick, keep doing it. Oi. For the 8th month I've been doing it. 8 months, I'm just hoping I wouldn't have to do it 20 plus years like Andy Dufresne in that movie Shawshank Redemption, I hope it's over soon. Go the way you have been, says eyes wide open. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opinion. Couple super chats. Truffles for once. What is going on at the borders these days? Good question. Let me acknowledge other super chats and I will answer. By the way, so this has become more than tea for me, more than drink. It's become like a feature of the streams. I actually feel uncomfortable without tea if I don't have tea at the streams. Sometimes it happens. And no, I'm not diabetic because I drink so much. It's just at the streams. I don't feel thirst or anything like that. It's just my throat. I need to keep it moist because I keep on speaking all the time. And this is not Russian. This is my second language. It takes efforts, okay? So that's why I'm doing it. But it's more than that. That's become like, I don't even know, like a state of mood or something. The border question. Do you think the borders are left open so that the majority of people who stay are pro-regime? And is this why the propaganda is so effective, because people trust the government? I think your stream format and topics are great. Thank you so much, Luke. This is the second question, second super chat for about the borders. Harry Decker, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Much appreciated, very welcome these days, Leitmotif for me, don't stop your information streams. Doing only light-hearted streams does not prevent the flow of depressing news from happening. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Support is appreciated. This opinion is priceless. Thank you. MASH 2 VHK. It would be depressing without you, period. You know what? These statements, these words, these messages, they help me much more than you know that they do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Money is great, but these words are priceless. Oh, thank you. It's certainly just, I have wings grow behind my back, when I hear that. Before I start with the borders, I'd like to share something. Nah, that's too personal. Sorry. So what's going on at the borders lately? And the second, do you think the borders are left open so that the majority of people who stay are pro-regime? First of all, Luke, you are wrong. The borders are not left open. They were open until about 5th, 4th, perhaps 3rd of October. And then remember I had the entire stream about that, the informational super system was created very quickly. It's still being created, but it started being created. Thing is, Russian government consists of many departments, many branches, okay? And branches in most cases, they do not interconnect. They do not share information. They are vertical. They're not horizontal. And in order to receive information from, for example, KGB on something about a person, the border patrol must make an inquiry, and it takes time. And everyone who comes, if KGB doesn't go after the guy or girl, what's this word? Anyway, if KGB doesn't provide information, this person should be stopped at the border, this criminal investigation. Other than that, this border people, they didn't know who to let out, who to keep inside Russia. But in early October, like I said, they started creating this super database, okay? And now the border guards, they know who is a subject and who is not, okay? And if you're a subject, if you fall into categories, then they won't let you out. They don't let people out. They turn many people down, okay? The other ones can come and go, okay? The ones, for example, over 45 years old, something like that, who have not been served the papers, they can go. But there are so many people turned down when trying to leave Russia. These days happening every single day. So I cannot say that the borders are wide open. No, okay? They're very, very regulated, so to speak. It is true that some men can leave Russia freely. Okay, that is true. I don't argue with that. But you can't say that the borders are open, left open. No. The situation right now, very few people are coming back to Russia, as far as I know. I'm a part of this Russian community, that whatever you call them, the draft dodgers, or we call ourselves relocants, people who relocate, who have relocated. Okay, very few are in dire situation. For example, run out of money, could not find a job, don't have documents, things like that. So they wait their situation, and some actually make decision to go for brief period or for longer period, but they're very few. Right now in Tashkent, over 20,000 people are Russian men. And they're staying, they're trying to make new life. They're trying to find purpose. They find job, find means of income and things like that. But no one is going back to Russia. People come here every single day. Not as much as they were coming in September and in October, but still, new people used to be a river flowing. Right now, it's a stream. Okay, that's analogy. People go through, they fly in and they go through Kazakhstan. They still do, but they prefer to fly in because it's much more difficult through Kazakhstan now. Because at the border crossings, they have tents of mobilization centers. Okay, and my friends, people still do get served the papers. Okay, because there hasn't been any official decree or an order from Vladimir Putin saying this gotta stop. Okay, the mobilization ended. No, the papers are still being served. It's just right now there is a new stage. It's called draft. For 1 month there will be draft. Once the mobilization centers are busy with young people from 18 to 12 to 20 who they're drafting. Once draft is over, it usually lasts 1 month. Then they're gonna do another mobilization. That's and it's so obvious to me. So I hope I answered your question, Katarina Kursmank. Thank you so much. I'm pretty bad with pronouncing names, so forgive me if I mispronounced it. Thank you so very much. Blackhead, thank you. You shouldn't have. Thank you so much, my friend. Agnes, I'm afraid there's no easy and quick way to change minds of Russian people. It takes years, maybe tens of years, 40 years in our case. Everything could help a little bit. It takes time. It's sometimes is so depressive, Agnes, you know. I know you're absolutely right. Takes such a little time to change their mind and then to do the damage and then so long to heal them, so long to bring them back to senses, you know, to common sense. It's such a tragedy. Lisa Marshall, $40. Thank you so much. Hi, Constantine. Saw documentary on PBS called Putin's War at Home, which showed school children being indoctrinated to support the military and the government and praising Putin. Has Russia always done this in schools? Great question, Lisa. Thank you for your support and prepare for the answer. It was done in the USSR. I was being indoctrinated for first 6 or 7 grades, and then USSR started falling apart. And indoctrination stopped just like that. Boom! I think it happened in 1989, something like that. Because everyone started seeing that, hey, something's wrong. Something's majorly wrong. You know, these people are lying to us and stuff. So, but I heard that music. And I was so happy that everything ended in late 80s, early 90s. 91, we were absolutely free. Schools were propaganda free, you know, mind control free. Schools were schools. Finally, we just, all this political BS was behind. And it stayed that way until 2022, summertime. And guess what happened in the summertime? That stuff returned. That stuff returned. Lisa, that returned. Right now, there are lessons at school when they teach us, well, our kids, something that basically indoctrinating them. They're teaching about the president. They're teaching about the role of Russia, the role of Holy Russia in this entire world. They're teaching this belief that Russia is a beacon of light, of righteousness, you know, the last stand of Christianity. When I go and tell them, hey, wait a second, what about Christianity in other countries? For example, Catholics in the United States, Baptists, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses. They look at me like, what? Those are Christian too? Get out of here. It happened to me a few times, and I go, Lutherans, Anglo, Anglican churches, right? This, come on, we're Christian. They're like, Baptists are Christian? That's a cult. That's what I've been told many, many times. Okay, my mom and dad, my dad served in a Baptist church in Prague for 10 years, okay? He was a Christian. He had a vision. Jesus Christ talked to him. Well, in Russia, they consider... Some people don't even know that Baptists are Christian. So, mighty Russia is a beacon of light. That's what teachers... They started teaching it September 1st. Once a week, kids get out, all school gets, and then they sing songs and stuff like that. Don't even get me started about that. Oi. Carlson, thank you so much. Before February, did all TV stations, including independent ones, have a negative outlook on the West? Or did this increase after the invasion? Of course it has increased after the invasion, Before, in the 90s and the 2000s, the West was the friend. The United States was the friend. Admired, okay? Partner, business partner. When 9/11 happened, who called number one? Who was the first one to call George W. Bush? Vladimir Putin saying, hey, friends, Russia is with you. Whatever. And then what did the American president ask? He said, open airspace of Russia for U.S. military planes. And you know what Putin did? He said, done. And U.S. warplanes flew right through Russia to Afghanistan, okay, or to Iraq, I don't remember. Anyway, so another case. Look, we were having a function in our company. We did that quite often. Large company, we were making tons of money. And our shareholders would bring everyone to like a camp, a huge camp, like a country resort type of thing. Usually around Moscow, tons of woods. So it would be woods, a lake, and houses everywhere, and restaurant. And it was in Kubinka. Kubinka is the west of Moscow. It's right next to a huge, largest military airport, military airstrip, Anyway, that's what Russian aces train. So one of the days, for a weekend, we went outside, to one of such places, and we were actually drinking at night. And boy, we used to drink. I was younger, I used to drink, And then in the morning, I wake up and I have light headache, and I go for breakfast, I walk. And all of a sudden, I see an incredible thing. I see U.S. pilots, military pilots, in their uniforms, walking towards me. And I'm thinking, I'm still drunk or something, But I literally, do this. And I still see there's a lady and a couple guys, and they walk towards me, and they're surprised. They look around, and they walk right into me, and I stop, and I said, well, stop. Who are you? And what are you doing here? And they're shocked. They didn't know I was speaking English. I spoke English. So they answer me. They say, I'm like, what are you doing here? This is like American invasion or something? U.S. Air Force, some elite pilots. And they're like, well, we're here for the parade. It was the year 2007 or 2008. So there was a huge, some kind of Air Force Day of Russia, and America sent its warplanes, like the fighters, to do a show in Moscow. And I saw it on the news day before. I, immediately put two and two together. And I saw on the TV them flying in a couple days, That's how close the USA and Russia were merely 15 years ago. I want to scream. How could we get into this position right now, my friends? I gotta stop. I gotta wrap it up. This is so depressing, We had really good relationship with the United States. With the West. Not one freaking person in the right and the sane mind would say that America is an enemy. All these propagandists there are saying atrocious things right now. They were actually normal, okay? It's still out there on YouTube. They're saying absolutely different things about Ukraine. They're saying Ukraine is a sovereign state. No one in the right mind would ever invade Ukraine, because that would be the end. That would be a crime and blah, blah, blah. It's out there on the internet. And now they're saying completely different thing. It's like our country is turned from white to black. And I think I've gotten carried away a little bit. I'm sorry. So, what the fudge? Yeah, guy. What? And I'm tempted to say something different, not what the fudge, if you know what I mean. So, Carlson, I hope I answered your question. Very depressing situation is the term. Yes. Nash and Demon, I told you I've been working with the Russians since 2014. I saw some issues, but if you would have asked me on 23rd 02 if Russia invading, I would have said never ever. I said that on 23rd, not 23rd, must have been 16th, 15th, or something like that. Remember, I had a stream. Some of you saw the stream. Mods, Lorna, Mommy, Golden Griffon, the usual suspects. So many people watching right now. You saw me, playing with Michael in the snow when I was making fun. I was saying, oh, that's Ukraine right there, and we're attacking you, we're taking over. And then there was a snowball fight, and I was saying, that's Ukraine versus Russia, and that's how far it's gonna go ever, because it's impossible for Russia to attack Ukraine and to be my old company owner used to take us to Lake Placid skiing, hotel rooms, dinners, and ride in the toboggan for the Christmas present. Leslie, same thing, only we used to do that so often. Our company had so much money. We were building power stations, substations, huge ones, in hundreds of $1 million. Revenue of not my company, but the company that I was employed, annual revenue were over $1 billion, okay? We made 100 largest engineering corporations list, world's largest, okay? We were riding the wave. There were golden years, the rich years in Russia. 2006, 7, 8. 8 was a crisis, little bit. That wasn't a big one. 9, everything was rebound. 10, 11, 12. The Olympics came. We used to go out quite often. 2 or 3 times in the summertime. Then on one occasion, my company, I was actually the one getting the plane. I was ordered by the 2 shareholders to get a charter plane, private plane for 150 people. And the entire management of the company flew to Odessa, Ukraine for 7 days, for 7 freaking days on company's expense, okay, just to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the company. Okay, that was 2011. That just kind of unthinkable right now because everything's so bad, falling apart economically. But things were much better, money-wise. Time's up, yes. Let me see a couple interesting questions. Oля says, I remember the stream where you swore up and down that it was a joke, that the invasion could happen. Face palm. Yeah, I am doing the same thing. Face palm. But I was sincere at the time. I truly believe that. How this just impossible. The impossible happened. No comment. Those Baptists always causing trouble with them living in the worlds of Jesus in their daily lives, having compassion for others, etc. Yeah, thank you. I know. Mikhail Vorontsov, Konstantin, why are you continuously repeating the past? Concentrate on the now. Well, that's what I did. My stream is about the now. What are the beliefs now? And then some questions I get, they're about the past, and that's why I speak about the past sometimes. We just say LGB anymore. Well, in Russia, they say LGBT. It's like having a personal disorder. J Truth, thank you so much. Welcome to Inside Russia. Lionel Slade says, "Come down, Inside Russia." You know what? It's really hard to come down sometimes because your entire world is falling apart like a cart's house in front of you. And all your beliefs, all you stood on in the past, everything is just like folds down. So it's hard. Linda Doswell, howdy from England. Interesting stream, but rather sad that the people are so brainwashed. That is the biggest question. How they can fall for this stuff so easily. Joy, thank you so much. Me too. Well, the girls are still at school. One is at the university. University is non-political. Movie school she is attending. They're not doing anything political. But the school my 15-year-old is going to, they have those lessons. 15-year-olds are old enough to... They actually know more than adults do. And they don't fall for that stuff, okay? But the young ones, how do you say this word? Younglings? First, second, third graders. Oh, they will gladly take that stuff. They will be indoctrinated, believe me. No, I've been there. I've been there before. The only person who stood between me and complete indoctrination were my grandfather. Hated commies, okay? And he was teaching me the right things, okay? Actually, both of them. One more so, another one less so, but another one was teaching as well. Love your passion for humanity, Frau Debs. Thank you so much. Danke schön. Sounds like North Korea. Yeah, it's getting there. Okay, my friends, I can't take it any longer today. And hang in there, Russian American, and start drinking coffee. I drink coffee every morning now. 1 cup of cappuccino with Russians. We had 7 people today. There will be more tomorrow. And the waiters know us. They know what I ordered. They don't even ask me. They just bring me a porridge, oatmeal, and a cappuccino, large cappuccino. And then it's a pretty interesting experience. I call this Russian Breakfast Club. Every morning at 10:30 we show up at one place, and then people start showing up because the words is getting spread. It's pretty cool. But it took me two weeks to get it going. So every single morning, and sometimes I would go and sit there myself. No one would show up. Then one person, two people, three people, and now it's quite a few people showing up. So I drink coffee every morning. But that's it. Not a huge fan of coffee. This is my fix, tea. Not very American. I'm sorry. It's more English, but what can I do? I like it. Graham Davis, thank you. Your message seems to agree with what you see on 1420 channel. You know what? Thank you. I was going to say that what you heard today, you're not going to hear anywhere else just except for one place, 1420. Go and check out that channel. Views from real people. A lot of seem scared to speak, but most seem to believe the things you said tonight. Look, Graham, I am honest, I am sincere, and I do my research. I never go and speak nonsense that I'm not sure about, okay? I do my research. Trust me, I put lots of time and efforts into preparing these streams. And what you hear from me, sometimes I can be mistaken. Yes, sometimes I'm mistaken. But you know what? Most of the times I am spot on because I do my homework. I do research. Oh, 1420 is a good source. Yeah. Dan is a good guy. He just does great job. My friends, thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pretty emotional stream. China tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting. You're gonna learn a lot. I am not the person who did the analysis. It was a professionals did that, and it's not for everyone to see here, at least in Russia. I got my hands on. I'm gonna share it with you. So please come back tomorrow. Rick, yes, I saw that news. Russia is silent about that, but everyone's talking about Satanists. Okay, that's a great question, and I keep on telling everyone, what about Kherson? Let's talk about Kherson. Forget about Satanists, blah blah blah, and that's how they work. You should know them by name. I'm getting angry again. Jamie, thank you so much. Mods say the time is up. It's pretty bad when I get super chats with that. Philip, thank you. Elton John, music loved in Russia. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. It's loved. He's loved. I saw him personally in Rostov performing. Don't ask me. That's just a world of mad circus that we're living in. Please join me in prayer. I'll make it a different one today. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for giving food on our tables. Thank you for giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please help our children, keep them safe and healthy, and give us wisdom to raise them the right way. So when they grow up, they make this world a better place and will never, ever engage into wars with each other. God, I would like to ask you to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Do what you know must be done. Reach out and touch people you know who must be touched, and tell them the words that must be told. But please, make it so the bloodshed is stopped. I would like to ask you for our world today. I'm I'm seeing lately very strange and scary things happen, and they really scare me. They scare me for, well, they scare me and they scare for my, like, I get really scared for my children, for my family. I really want my children and all our children around to grow up and be happy, be free, be able to do whatever they want to be able to have free minds, free of propaganda, free of influence, free of manipulation. Um, I want them to be peaceful. I want them to never fight with each other. But what I'm seeing right now, the world is becoming a place where all of this is more difficult by the day. So I'm asking you to open our eyes, all of us, people who are in charge, regular folks, people who don't understand, who play along, who are manipulated. Please open our eyes, show us the truth, show us the righteousness, show us the way, lead us the way, please. Show us the light so we can start seeing it and going towards the light. Take your light and light everything up around us. So this darkness that is attacking us, that darkness just vanishes and disappears. There are so much confusion. There are so many lies in the world right now. Those lies, they are breaking us apart. The chasm is growing between countries, between people, and that is a tragedy because we are the one. There are no countries really. There are no languages. There are no cultures. We are people. We have hearts, and our hearts beat in the very same way, and they bleed in the very same way. So we love in the very same way. So we are the one. Please help us. Help us fight this darkness that really is corrupting us, corrupting our lives, corrupting more and more people. Show us the way. Tell us what to do so we know how to fight it, how to create this world full of light again, full of bright light, white light. This is what we need, I think, most than ever today. We need to be shown the way, and we need to start taking steps towards that light on the way that you will show us. Please do not leave us. Please do not abandon us. Have faith in us and help us. Thank you so very much for bringing us together and in this community. This is a true international group, and this is how we can be together. It doesn't matter what countries we're from. It doesn't matter what religion is of ours. We are in this live stream, in this chat. We're praying together for the same things, and they are really simple. They are you, love, light, happiness, our children, peace. And that's really what we need. So just make the entire world like this chat, so we just appreciate and go towards the very same things. Thank you so much. Dear God, I have a list of people who reached out and asked me to ask you for help. You know every single name of this list. I'm not going to read them, but I'm just asking for those people. Please help everyone who is on the list. Please help and hear their prayers and answer their prayers and make the wishes come true. Also, please help everyone who is praying with me or watching us pray. Please answer their prayers and make everyone's wish come true. Please give us love, happiness, peace, forgiveness, mercy, and empathy. Thank you so much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Tough stream today. Very, very emotional. Sorry. Thank you so very much for joining. Thanks for giving me a chance and praying with me. Well, not with me, with us, really. Tomorrow, let's talk about China, and I'll try to come up with something lighthearted on Sunday. Before I sign off, Carthago delende est.